But yeah, no, Marjorie Taylor Greene got onto Homeland Security, the Homeland Security Committee. Seriously? And I got to be honest, I'm probably going to tick some people off because I know most of the people chilling doing Sudoku. Awesome. Hey, what's going on, by the way? Um, I got to be honest, I'm a little upset with the Democrats too. Like, I feel like we could have done something about this, or we should have done something about this. And like, if you go look on the video I did in the comments, people are like, "Well, what can we do?" It's like I feel like the time to ask that question's come and gone. Like, we should have already done something. Like, it should already be done. These people should already have been indicted. They should be facing trial. I mean, this really isn't a joke. Like, this shouldn't be, let me rephrase, this shouldn't be about politics, and it shouldn't be about parties. It just shouldn't. And what we're seeing from the right now, and conservatives, the GOP, they want a war. Go read Marjorie Taylor Greene's statement from today. These people are looking for violence, and there's no way around it. Like, there's no other explanation. There's no other outcome that they're looking for. They want to win, and if they don't, they're ready to take up arms for it. And we need to be ready for that. Grasp that concept. Like, I've been watching videos for the last couple days of parents, like the one that I watched today was dad and his kid standing in with their guns, in their stance, and the kids, learning how to release clips and put new clips in. I'm just like, we're literally watching videos online of parents groom their kids to be the next school shooter, and we're doing nothing about it. Like, the fact that that parent doesn't have protective services banging on their fucking door boggles my mind. Like, there's a video going viral online of you with your kid, teaching them how to use a gun, and that's just fine? Like, jeez. And that's the thing too. We have, hey, Giggles, they need to realize that we as liberals, Democrats, whatever, like, I have guns. I protect my family because I get a lot of hate online, and it's usually directed either at me or my family. So, it just makes me feel safer. But did you see the report that Carrie Lake wants to run for Cinema Senate seat? Um, I don't think I don't think she could beat Cinema running as an independent. Hey, Queenie, what's going on? Um, I think Carrie Lake. I mean, I think she's a joke, of course, but honestly, the cinema's making some really interesting moves. Like, I know now you're getting me sidetracked, but since I'm from Arizona, we'll talk about it. Hey guys, everybody's saying hey, thank you for coming in and sticking around. Cinema is really starting to kind of cater to the right wingers already. She's going down to the border. Like, this is a woman who, while she was a Democrat, barely ever met with anybody meaningful, didn't, barely ever had town hall meetings, still barely has town hall meetings. But she's got time to go down to the border for a bunch of, BS. And it's just, she went from, she was a Democrat, now she's an independent, now all of a sudden she's going down to the border. It's just very clear what she's doing. And I look forward to voting her out. But that being said, what got us on this conversation, I'm not sure Carrie Lake could beat her. Like, I think if it's between her and Carrie Lake, I think a lot of Republicans and independents would vote for Cinema over Carrie Lake because she plays very well to the middle and the right. It's a fact. Kirsten Cinema, why I do not personally like what she's done with her power and her seat, she's not stupid either, and She knows how to play the politics. So she's still dangerous. Don't get me wrong. But in terms of Democrats, I would say she's probably, conservatively, she's probably lost 70% of Democrats across the board. So even as an independent, she might get 10, 15% Democrat votes when she runs. So yeah, I don't see her getting too many Democratic votes. I think a lot of Democrats are ready to vote her out. But again, because people are starting to leave. Guys, don't leave. We got to talk about this. We seriously got to talk about this. Marjorie Taylor Greene, not just her, Paul Gosar too, since we're talking about Arizona, they were giving back their committees. Like, we really need to talk about this, y'all. Marjorie Taylor Greene is on the Homeland Security Committee. Homeland Security. This woman had conspiracy theories for September 11th. Like, this is the same woman that said if she was in charge of January 6th, they would have been successful. They gave her a freaking spot on the Homeland Security Committee? Yeah, George Santos, too. I got that one saved. George Santos has got a committee. Paul Gosar's got a committee. Like, there are literal domestic terrorists in Washington, D.C. right now legislating for all Americans. And if that doesn't scare the shit out of you, it scares me. The fact that somebody like George Santos can be sworn in when all this information was coming out. Like, all this information was coming out about him. We might need to take up arms. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people think that can't happen. And thank you for the likes, guys. We're almost at 300. 314, see? I think a lot of people think that, we can't get to a place of civil unrest. And I would argue that we're already at civil unrest, and we're teetering on some type of a conflict, whether it be on a massive scale nationwide, or it be in what's the word I'm looking for? Like areas, bubbles, maybe not nationwide, but there will be hot spots. Yeah, but I think, my personal opinion, if we don't get serious about this possibility, it's gonna explode. It's just, we are literally living under a pressure pot, waiting for it to explode. And we can't get enough people, we can't get enough Americans to put the people above their party. And the reason Democrats struggle is because they think for themselves. A lot of Democrats, liberals, they're not very easy to fool. They ask questions. They want to see proof of things. And that also makes us more divided as a party, because it's not so easy to corral us all together and get us all to think that, to get that group think going. Whereas the Republicans, the GOP, conservatives, they're very good. They're very good at that group think. And when you get a whole group of people together and they're all thinking, going the same direction, that's dangerous. And the Democrats aren't good at doing that, because everybody's thinking for themselves, doing what they, it's just, exactly, they've brainwashed. The GOP has brainwashed their entire party. And we can't get enough people to see it. It's extremely unfortunate. Like, I see what's going on, and it's scary. Like, if you see what's going on in these other countries right now, if you think we're far off from some of this stuff, you're wrong. I'm telling you. Like, they're telling you the government is being weaponized against the American people, when it's not. It's being weaponized against the fucking people that are domestic terrorists. And they're trying to convince everybody else that if they're coming after them, they're coming after you. And that isn't the case. If you didn't try to overthrow the government, nobody's coming for you. I'm not. No Democrat I know is coming for you. But if you were involved in January 6th and you've tried to overthrow the government, and you think September 11th was some freaking, conspiracy theory, Come on, guys. A few countries not far behind us, too. Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, the whole world right now is pretty freaking unstable. You know, I mean, just to be fair. It's not like we're the only government that's struggling. Anytime that the people start to struggle, the government's going to get pushed back. And like a lot of people on the left have said repeatedly, inflation, high food prices, high fuel prices, that's not special to the United States. That's been a worldwide issue because of COVID and other things. And unfortunately, COVID and everything else has been weaponized. And there's a few more countries. Oh. I don't know, y'all. It's just, this whole Marjorie Taylor Greene thing has me concerned. I'm not going to. And Paul goes, like I said, there's a couple domestic terrorists that are literally sitting on pretty influential committees. And now we're seeing what Kevin McCarthy had to give up to get the speaker, to get the gavel. He had to promise these domestic terrorists that they were going to get their committees back. Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Paul Gozer. Like I said, in the latest video I did, there's a graph, and it's got all the people that asked for a pardon related to January 6th. And Marjorie Taylor Greene's on there, Paul Gozer's on there, Matt Gaetz is on there, Louis Gomer, whatever his name is. Gomer. MTG scares me as well. Did Boebert get any? Did she get any what? Sorry. Yeah, MTG, you know, Marjorie Taylor Greene, if you listen to what she's saying, you listen to the rhetoric, you know, and then she comes out and she explains stuff away like, oh, I got sucked into the internet thing. And it's like, are you serious? It's like, oh, I got sucked into conspiracy theories on the internet. Well, you're a freaking congresswoman in the United States. You shouldn't be getting sucked into fucking conspiracy theories online. If you don't have a brain to think for yourself, and you can't spot a fucking scam? And I don't believe it for a second, of course, because she's acting exactly the same as she always has. So it's like she gets something blows up in her face and she plays the, oh, I'm sorry, or oh, I didn't know, or oh, I'm a victim, and then turns right around and keeps doing the same thing. Like, she's a piece of garbage. Boebert never lost her committee. Yeah, she never lost her committee. So I forget which one she's on. I'd have to Google it. But I think she just, if I'm not mistaken, she just kept hers, the one she had. Because she never got booted off. But the people that were asking for pardons, some of them were booted off their committees for obvious reasons. And of course the Republicans don't care. We're going to keep talking about gas stoves while domestic terrorists, you know, occupy seats in Congress. Yeah, nothing will go wrong there. Like, it's terrifying, guys. People are training their kids to be killers, and they're doing it and like, well, I'm just teaching them to defend their... No, you're training them to be killers. You're training them to, like, murder people. I've got the videos. You gas stove video me. Yeah, I wasn't going to do it, and then I saw so many videos from the Republicans on the gas stove thing. I was like, okay, I got to do one. Because this is just... Yeah. Uh-oh, somebody's here. Yeah, I don't know, guys. It's going to be an interesting couple of years. You know, unfortunately, I don't think Kevin McCarthy has control of Congress. I don't think he has control of his party. I think Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, Matt Gaetz, you know, all that group of dissenters, I think they actually control what's going on because they can just hold out. And that's going to force McCarthy to have to appease them consistently to get them to do what he needs them to do to pass legislation. They know that they wield the power at this point. And that's, again, I feel like that's kind of dangerous. But like I said, y'all, please pay attention. This isn't a joke. What our country is legitimately in crisis, and it's not the crises that Republicans are pushing. It's actually we're literally in crisis because of them. And it's not a joke. These people want to see the country. They go into chaos. They want, if a civil war happens, they'll be completely okay with it. They don't care about us. These people don't care about the middle class. They don't care about the average American. If you don't live in the freaking top 1% of the 1%ers, they don't give a shit about you. It's just the reality. And the sooner that we all realize that, the better off we're going to be. There's a reason people like AOC and people that have come up, that they are the way that they are, because they were molded in a different way. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, these people are clowns. The only reason Lauren Boebert got into Congress because she went to a Beto O'Rourke event and said something about, you're not going to take our AR-15s. And she became an internet freaking thing. And that's literally what led her to Congress. That's it. Not years in public service, not a veteran, not any of that. She owned a freaking bar restaurant that she couldn't even operate correctly, and all of a sudden became an internet sensation. So let's put her in Congress. Kyle Rittenhouse is next. Kyle Rittenhouse is next, y'all. He's already posted a photo on his Twitter of him standing in front of Congress, like, I'll be here in 5 years. I'm telling you, Kyle Rittenhouse is there next. and since nobody's going to do anything about this kid, his legend is only going to increase on the right, because I'm telling you, they protect this kid. I can't get into my Twitter account right now because of something I said, and it was so benign. Like, it wasn't, it was a very benign comment in my opinion, and I got banned for 7 days. Like, I don't know, guys. Like, freedom of speech is a joke. But there is no freedom of speech, especially on Twitter. Like, I can show you the things that I've been banned over, and it's a fucking joke. It's a straight joke. And what people get away with saying, what they get away with saying about my family has been disgusting. And then seeing the stuff that they get away with saying, and the inciting of violence, and the people that are getting their accounts back, like Tate, whatever his name, Andrew Tate, that's who gets his account back. But there's a bunch of liberals that can't get their account back because they said that Trump should be punished to the full extent of the law for treason. Just in different words. It's a law, right? But nope, can't say that. But if you word it differently and you're a conservative, oh, they let those go. But that's where we're living in right now. If you can't see the right wing is getting amplified on social media, especially on Twitter, I don't know what to tell you. Like, they're literally being amplified, and Democrats are being censored, and that's what's happening. Like, there's proof of it all over the fucking internet. Like, I've got proof after proof of the people that have gotten their accounts back on Twitter, and they've said shit 10 times worse than I have. But they're conservatives, and some of them have money, so different rules. But you know what? It kind of makes me feel a little good, though, because I know I'm pissing people off, which means I'm right. Because if you're not right, if you just sound like a lunatic, they let you go on and keep sounding like a lunatic so that they can use you and say, look at this guy, he's a lunatic. He's the guy on the left. But when you don't sound like a lunatic and you start bringing receipts and you start going here, 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 and here, they're like, oh, we got to censor this guy. Because we can't, he's not crazy. He's not acting crazy. He's bringing receipts. We got to shut this person up. That's literally what they do. And then they're like, let's go mass report their page. because we don't like what they're saying. The people that talk about free speech are the ones that mass report our pages. I don't have time for that shit. And anybody that has that's a hacker or whatever, you can look on my account and go tell people how many times I've reported an account. Maybe 5, maybe over the last couple of years. Now, there are people that mass report my accounts. I don't have time for that shit. I really don't. Well, I don't want to have time for it. You know what I mean? Like, I get really frustrated because it's all the people that are talking about small government, free speech, all this bullshit, but they're the ones that are like trying to control everybody and covering up women's arms in state legislatures and having smoking inside the Capitol now. Like, they want the government to be so involved in school, in people's sexuality, in marriages, and it's like, where's all this small government you fuckers keep talking about? Like, the only time you guys are for I shouldn't say you guys. The only time Republicans are for small government is when it comes time for corporate welfare. Then it's like, oh, we need to start deregulating everything so that, you know, these small businesses, which actually translate to corporations, can make shit tons of money and probably not pay us many taxes. So, yeah, that works out well. Tate is getting his karma now. It sure seems like it. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to shed any tears over that guy. But again, you see the people that the right and the conservatives and the libertarians, like anybody that's not a liberal or a Democrat, they look up to these guys, the Joe Rogans, the Andrew Tates, the macho bullshit guys. Like, Joe Rogan's 5'3". If he came standing up next to me, he'd be looking at my belly button. I could buff his fucking head. Like, I'd put him in a fucking chokehold and put him to sleep. The only thing that guy can do is do a backwards kick and interview people and go, oh yeah, that's funny. Let's get stoned and ask questions and yeah. And I'll give people a platform that really shouldn't have a platform, but I'll give it to them anyway. What's this? World's rich elite. I mean, you can't... I don't know how anybody can watch what happens on a daily basis, especially within our legal system, and not acknowledge that there are different rules for different classes in America. If you have money and are influential and know people, and you get away with a lot more shit. If you don't have money, you don't have power, and you have people that are looking for something to take you down with, yeah, it's probably not going to go well for you. And that's the reality. You know, it's just like my personal opinion, of course. I wish Democrats would get behind me and push me as a candidate, because I really am the candidate that does not care. And what I mean by that is I'm going to say what needs to be said. I'm going to do what's right for the people. I'm going to represent as many people as I can to the best of my ability. And that's what every fucking politician needs to do. Represent everybody. I don't care if you voted for me. If you're in my district, I still represent you. I still legislate for you. So that means that I still have to listen to you because I work for you. So we need more politicians to put the people in their district over party politics. Like, at the end of the day, you represent the people. Whether they voted for you or not, those are the people that you represent. And if one of them comes to you with a problem, it's your fucking job to go to DC and advocate on their behalf. That's your job. Can we honestly say that the people just here in Arizona, that our representatives are advocating to the best of their ability for us? Because we're losing massive percentages of our federal water allotment. And all I see is Kirsten Sinema talking about the fucking border. Guess what? None of it's going to matter if we run out of water to drink. Because we're about 3 years away from having to drain our pools so that we have water to drink. And I'm not joking. And all the flooding in California and all the rain that we've had here in Arizona the last few days is not going to change that. Thanks for all the likes, guys. Hey, Corner, what's going on, man? Yeah, man, it feels like people aren't really grasping the reality of our situation right now. Like, I personally feel like I'm a true moderate. I really do. I used to be Republican, especially when I was in the military, and then over time, especially after Obama was elected in '08, I started. By the time like 2009 came around, I was definitely a solid Democrat at that point. But even over the years, there's just stuff, there's stuff that the Republicans get done or propose that I'm like, yeah, that's not bad. Like I can get behind that. And look, man, that's what we got to get back to. There was a time where if somebody broke the law, if somebody had classified information, and this goes for everybody, both parties, that something would be done. Somebody would be arrested. Not 2 years of whatever. Like, there was a time when people voted on legislation and voted on what was best for the people, not, well, I'm going to vote no on this, not because it's not good for my constituents, but because I want to own the libs. Because I want to own the Democrats and make them look bad. I can't hand them a win. I can't hand the Democrats a win. I can't hand the Republicans a win. Those two things really piss me off. Because it's like, okay, so you're literally telling us that you're not voting on this legislation because, oh, it's not good for my people. It's simply because you can't hand the Democrats a win. And since none of you will co-sponsor a bill and make it a bipartisan bill, they have to vote against it. It's just a stupid game that nobody wants to fix. Because we could fix this. And you want to know the first thing we need to fix? Electoral college. Get rid of it. Because it's fucked us enough. It's robbed Democrats, liberals, and the American people too many times now. And what I mean by that is, when you have millions of more Americans that vote for somebody than the other side, and then an electoral college of voters just show up and say, fuck it, we're going to vote this way. All because of some gerrymandered districts and shit? No. That vote needs to be popular vote. Now, today, I can vote from my phone if we really got serious about it. Everybody could vote from their home if we really wanted to. We don't need this. I think people need to understand back in the day why the Electoral College was necessary. It's not necessary today. We don't need it today. And it's not working. It's actually being weaponized against the American people. And we need to fix it. Think about it. I don't think we'd have a Republican president since, what is it, Reagan? It's either Reagan or the first Bush. But we wouldn't have had a Republican president since then. We would never have had George W. We wouldn't have had Trump. We would have had Hillary by 2.8 million votes. Yeah. I mean, isn't that crazy to think about that the last, 2 decades? Almost 3 decades? That the last 3 decades should have been Democratic presidents. But that's not what happened. Because Electoral College was weaponized against the people. And the first time it really happened in the modern voting era was in Florida in 2000. And we didn't learn our lesson. We didn't fucking learn our lesson. So, it's just like anything. The people that cheat, they don't want to cough up the Electoral College because it's a weapon for them. Just like the filibuster. It's a weapon. It's not, and it's not beneficial to the people. This water issue should have been addressed a long time ago. It really should have been, and unfortunately, it's not just one thing, but I definitely think our failure to address it sooner has turned it into a crisis. And I really do mean that. Like, I think people, like, I know I kind of say it in a joking way, but none of this politics and stuff's going to matter if we don't have any water. Like, we can't survive without water. All right, guys. You guys got any questions or anything real quick before I jump off? Anything you want to talk about? Anything you want my opinion of? I'm here for relationship advice. I charge by the second. So I've started watching Breaking Bad for the first time. Never watched that show. Now I'm pretty addicted to it, which is good. I needed something to watch. So guys, I'm going to jump off then if nobody's got anything, but listen, I got Mexican wife, I'm good. But seriously guys, please pay attention to what's going on. This is serious stuff. I know we joke, I know we fight, we play the politics game and everything, but what we're seeing right now is very concerning, and I think anybody who focuses on history or has been in the military or anything can kind of see the writing on the wall. And we're all kind of standing here waving our arms going, hey, we need you to pay attention, because this isn't some no big deal thing. These are literal domestic terrorists. They're sitting on Homeland Security committees in Congress. That's a problem, and it's a problem that we need to address. So, and George Santos is another one. That's another something we need to get rid of. So, but with that said, thanks for hanging out, guys. I'm going to go eat some pizza. I love you guys. Thanks for all the support. And I'm trying to get better about being on here more, so hopefully I'll see you guys later.